Hey, do you like cats? What dumb question. Of course you love cats. This is the internet. The internet loves cats. So let's talk about Saves the Cat writes a novel. If you've been following this channel for quite some time, or you went back, watched some of the writing videos back from November when we were talking about Nanowrimo, I was explaining to you how I was writing my novel, Kill Team Omega, and how reading Saves the Cat writes a novel really helped me with the plotting and doubts about it. And the beats were solid, and if you want an update, because it's April, so I was writing in November, what the hell, it's being edited right now, and I'm writing for Nanowrimo, the sequel, Battleground Omega. You can see a pattern here, and if you haven't watched this video, the book is about a former police assassin in a futuristic city who has been demoted to Kill Team, group of the worst police officers in this city, this megapolis, and he's sent into ghettos to fight with violent gangs and terrorists and all this kind of stuff, because we're in the future and the future is always bad and it sucks. And it's not a dystopia where everybody stays at home. It's a dystopia where people live in underneath the homes of the privileged, and they try to get by any way possible. And I would describe this as John Wick meets Judge Dredd. I hope you're watching this video in the future and you've already read the book and you loved it and you know more about how it was written. So I was saying that the pacing was so-and-so. And of course, if you're interested more about this editing process and the publishing process of the book, then subscribe to the channel to learn more about this. So in my last video about Kill Team Omega, I was saying how, yes, I know the lightning is, the sun is very bright here in the south of Europe, and it's a great day, and it can be very disruptive if you're trying to film video. So forgive me for that. So I was saying, yes, my last video about Save the Cat was that I was trying to, I have reached the midpoint and I had some very serious doubts and something was off. So I went back and I found out that yes, you should focus on the B plot. What was really challenging as I was reading Save the Cat writes a novel, this book over here was the genre of the book, because there is some story genres here, and there are 10 of them, and I was trying to find one genre that fitted my story, and it was very hard because we have this super efficient police officer, so that could be a superhero, who is trapped in a small place, an undersprawl, which is the ghetto. It's well, the megapolis is there's a core city. On the highest levels there are the rich and powerful, the oligarchs, the plutocrats, sorry, and underneath we have you know, the core, and we have the rim, which is the outside part of this core, and this is the size of, I don't know, New York or something. It's got some 50 million people, I guess, in the core, and then you have the sprawl, which is the suburbs of the city, and there are tons and tons of them, and they were built on top of bridges or high, because the main idea that this is the 23rd century and late 21st century, the ice in the poles melt, so we had a cataclysm, and underneath those houses there's the undersprawl, which is the ghettos. It's people living underneath the city, and we have this undersprawl section, this place that used to be an industrial area one time ago, but now it's not. Now with the factory closed, we have violent gangs, and this gang, they're fighting is extremely dangerous. It's led by a maniac who's very charismatic, a cult leader, and they have to deal with this stuff, so it could easily be a monster in the house story. It could be a dude with a problem too. Only that this dude was too much of a superhero character. And then I thought might be plot, which was not solid in the first draft, and this is the reason why I'm doing the edits, is that the big plot in Save the Cat is the inner journey. And it was not completely well defined the first part, but I really nailed it. After I got what the big plot was, I was able to continue writing. I was doing something good with plotting. And the big plot is that we have this light cap. He's from the academy. He used to be top of the top and amazing and decorated. He was thrown out of this heaven into hell, sort of like a fallen angel, and he tries to come to terms with his new position in the world, and that's an institutionalized story. And much of the challenge early on is that he has to fight a bureaucracy, has to fight a level of ineptitude that comes from bureaucracy and constraints within the service. And I mean, the first scene literally ends with him understanding that his commanding officer isn't capable of getting his squad out of an ambush, so he has to take matters into his hands. And by the end, so I won't spoil, he has sort of come to terms with his role in this organization. So that's a great institutionalized plot. It's the institutionalized genre, which is let me see the book about it. It's about joining a society or an organization or a group and trying to get to terms with it, to get an idea of similar books. The Handmaid's Tale, The Great Gatsby, The Outsiders, The Color Purple, The Giver, and The Help are some examples. So yes, there's no cyberpunk action books here, but whatever. And right now I'm plotting the April book, Battleground Omega, and the main idea is that our hero and his squad, they are cannon fodder, as his former teammates, the Megapolis assassins, are inside a corporate building trying to take out a plutocrat who broke the law. Yes, this happens. So they're fighting very experienced mercenaries, and mercenaries that are very well equipped and not the rabble they're constantly fighting. They end up inside the building, just trying to escape the fire from their opponents, and their adventure is there. I'm not sure about the genre too. I think that it would be more like Monster in the House, because again they're dealing with superior forces. I mean, I'm doing the bits right now, so I'm not sure how it will come out, but I'm giving this book as a template. I have the midpoint and what's happening there, and I pretty much have the ending planned. And yeah, that's it. I think the B plot will be the same, more or less. It'll be more about Josie, our main character, trying to work with the team this time. I mean, he has found his place in the group and come to terms with him being there, so now he's trying to protect the other people around him, something that he hasn't done before in his career, because being an assassin, you know, it's a one-man or two-man job at the most. So yes, that's the challenge for him this time, trying to save the other people in his team. And well, he's going to meet some of his past colleagues, some of the rest of the assassins. So yes, if you watch this video after reading Kill Team Omega and you want to know more about the assassins, they're in this one. So that was my video for Come Nanowrimo in April. Probably you'll see it as Come Nanowrimo is on, because I'm doing some videos beforehand, trying to prepare myself, and I'm not sure how much vlogging I'll be able to do within April. I've got a pretty hectic schedule, believe it or not. I think I'm working more hours at the moment during the stay at home rather than before. Or it's not, you're not in the office, so things meld together, work and staying at home. So that was my cup of tea. What is everybody doing with Nanowrimo? Are you writing? What's your project about? What challenges do you face? And if you've read Save the Cat, leave a comment if you found useful or not. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.